In this lesson, I'm going to walk you through the different types of lasso tools we have available to us inside of Photoshop. So let's open, there should be one that says Halloween, which is my son with some pumpkins outside. And what I want to do is show you how we can select certain parts of this image. Now remember this mantra. This is really important. You're going to select something, you're going to do something to it, then you're going to deselect. That's kind of the workflow inside of Photoshop. All right, so let's say we want to select all of these pumpkins. Okay, all we need to do is grab our lasso tool, which is right here, shortcut L, and you'll notice if there's a little triangle, I didn't mention this with the marquee, but if there's a little triangle in the bottom corner here, what that means is if you hold that down, you're going to pull out a flyout menu that has more tools available. Okay. Another way to access those tools, to cycle them, is to hold down Shift and then click on the shortcut key. So the shortcut for the lasso is L. So as you notice, as I click, if I hold down Shift and I hit L, I'm cycling through the different tools available in this flyout. Okay, that works with most of the tools. You notice with this marquee tool, if I hit Shift M, I don't access these single row marquees down here. Okay, so it just depends on the tool, but most of the common tools are going to act that way and behave that way. All right, so what I'm going to do is let's go ahead and try to select these pumpkins. Now, this tool is really nice for organic shapes, and you'll find that trying to run this thing with a mouse is very difficult, so I would definitely recommend a tablet type device. There we go. Well, it's not great. You notice I didn't get it quite in here. And again, if I want to subtract, I can just click and drag and subtract. So really, the way you could do this as an easier way is you can make a larger selection like this, okay? And then holding Alt, you can remove chunks that you don't want to deal with. So this is a workflow that we use here at the shop just to remove parts of the image. You notice it does take a little bit longer than a steady hand. Okay, just like that. You can come in and take parts off. Okay? And again, if you take off too much, you can always add it back. Let me deselect, Control D, same deselect as the marquee. Now let's talk about the lasso tool, the polygon lasso tool. So unlike the regular lasso tool, this one doesn't work with a click and drag. This works with a click and a click. So you're going to make very sharp-edged shapes. Okay, and I'm just clicking. You notice if I only click twice, it doesn't smooth it out. It just leaves that very angular. So this would be really good if we wanted to select, for example, part of here. So if we wanted to select this piece like this, that would be a really cool area to work on. Okay. Now get it close to where you started, or double click, and it will connect it back to the beginning here. All right, so this is really good for angular, not very good for smooth. Let's deselect. Now I'll tell you what is a really, really cool tool, and that's this magnetic lasso tool. Now the way this works is you have a search area. Mine's set up to be 4 pixels in size, and I have a contrast that I'm searching for, okay, and this tells the frequency is how often we're going to drop down points. Now what this does is it starts to calculate the difference between the 2 pixels where I'm dragging along, and it's going to automatically lay down my points for me. Now if I want, I can force it to lay down a point, okay, by just clicking. So watch what happens. I start to click. Okay, and I'm just moving my mouse. I haven't clicked my mouse yet. I'm just moving my mouse around the pumpkin. And you notice that the system has already figured out where the wall is, where the pumpkin is. And just like that, it made that selection. Now I can go ahead and subtract the inside part. Just like that. So that is how you can use the magnetic lasso. It's a great tool. You'll notice I'll just come along here on my son's shirt. And you'll notice at the corner I'll want to click just to keep those corners nice and tight. But I'm just dragging my mouse along. And you can see it did a really good job of making that selection. Now, I did mess up a little bit right there, but I didn't zoom in. So obviously you could zoom in and tighten that up. Let me deselect. So that right there is the lasso tools. These are very indispensable as you're working on different types of projects. Maybe you just want to select this little part to work on. Okay, that's a indispensable way of working. In the next lesson, we're going to talk about some of these other tools. But before I leave you, I want to show you one little trick. And this works with any selection that you have. Let's say we wanted to use some of these leaves over here to hide this little ant trap. Well, the workflow is we can select this. Okay. Now we pick it up and move it because we know what that shape looks like. And let's say we want to put this leaf and mulch right back over here. The workflow for that is you're going to press, not Control. You're going to press Control and Alt. Click and drag that right back over. Now when I deselect, you'll notice blends right into the picture. Okay, and we can erase that and feather it and do all kinds of really cool things. But let me do that for you one more time. Okay, just to explain the process. So you make a selection, pick it up and move it. Let's say right about here. And now you're going to press Alt and Control. You're going to get this double arrow, which you can now pick up and move right over. Deselect, and there you go. This will work also with any of these selection tools. So if I wanted to, I could make this selection right here, and then Control and Alt. Actually, let me deselect that. Here we go. Select it, move it, Control and Alt. Plug that right in. Now, obviously, that doesn't match because of the pumpkin, but you get the idea. All right, so that's how you can make a selection, move and resample a current selection and move it back over.